On Dating Clinic, where we say it's a date. My name is Terry Njuguna, and this is 90.7 to the FM, Truth Worth Finding. And we want to get to our conversation for today. Our guests are here already, and the question for today, we are asking you, what is the ideal age for you to get married? Some of us are saying 25, 27, 30, you know, but there's an interesting comment here on WhatsApp. Someone says, team from Kabiria, nasema hakuna specific years ya kuoa. Kuoa inategemea na kiwango cha akili mtu anacho. You can be in your 30s and nothing. I totally agree. I agree to him on that. Joski Shams, nimekuita umekuja. Unasema good evening T. For ladies, it's 26 plus, and for men, 30 plus years old. Okay. So keep your feedback coming as we get to find out who our guests are, their story, their love story. And if you have a question as you're going on, if there's something you want them to clarify, please let us know. 07279079007 is the number. On Facebook, 90.7 to the Family Buckets official page, and also on X at Truth FM Kenya. So we get to know them so that we can have a great time all the way to the top of the hour. Karibuni sana.
Asante sana.
Mko fiti?
Kabisa, tunashukuru Mungu.
I'll start with the lady. Please tell us your name.
My name is Faith.
Karibu kidogo mic.
My name is Faith. I am a graduate in film production. And I'm born again above everything else. And I'm happily married. Yeah.
Oh, I love that last part. You're happily married.
Yeah.
Ai, kumbe marriage works. First salimie.
Hello, Bwana asifiwe. My name is Pastor Erico. I'm born again napenda Jesus Ajab. I'm a young pastor. I'm a Gen Z.
Yeah.
I think that is important. Ndo mtu asisikie sauti aseme ni mbaba.
I wish we had cameras in studio. What
just a young boy who loved Jesus. Of course, married to one beautiful wife who happens to be a she. And her name is Pastor Faith, as she has just said. And
it's
I'm excited. Yeah, it's a woman. It has to be a woman. You know, that is the divine ordination.
Yeah.
You know, according to the plan of God, she has to be a woman. And I'm so excited because we are about to unfold some few things that we know will help us and will even help in guiding other young people and also them that are in marriage, probably to, you know, sort some few things here and there. And I know, you know, God is at work. Yeah.
Before we can even get to how many years you guys have been married and who first. First of all, kuambia tu audience, niliona Pastor Faith and Pastor Eric kwa kesha a week ago. You know, uko tuko audience tu uko and vile pasi alieka tu your word. Nikajua this one we have to get.
Okay.
The way you introduced her, it was so lovely. Wow. And I said, my God, we need to hear more stories that marriage na work.
Yeah, sure.
Tuache kupiga hiki tu vita. Tumepiga sana kwa radio stations. Tunapiga simu huko tunasema haki amecheat nini and all that. But we are not encouraging and saying that there are marriages that are working. Ino kitu tunataka kusikia leo. But before we can get there, situjue kwanza vile ilianza hii story. Mlianza na wapi? Mlimit wapi? Basi ulimuona kwanza ama kuliendaje?
I think, you know, they say ladies first. It has to be a ladies first. So ladies first. You can do it, love.
Okay. Ewe tuambie ulimuona, ni ulimnotice wa kwanza ama ulinotisiwa wa kwanza?
So it was so tutanzia wapi? It was a kesha that I had gone to, that it was, do I say his kesha ama how do I say it? But now at the time nilikuwa na queue ya kesha because it had been a long while.
Okay.
So we were going to this fellowship in town, and then the kesha was announced. Actually I went because nilikuwa naona kina Mose and Jogosh, because sasa si tumekuwa tukiwa, do you say idolize, or rather we look up to them. And also I'm like, at least for the first time in history I'm meeting these people. He's in the poster but I've not seen him.
You know, notice
I don't know him.
I just notice baby face.
Na alikuwa kwa hiyo poster.
Alikuwa kwanza katikati.
Mwenye event bwana.
Na uonekani.
Na simuoni. Cause sasa unajua you don't see someone you don't know.
Yeah.
You cannot see someone you don't know. So we go to this kesha and I'm the kind of person who documents their life.
Okay.
Not sana, but I choose when to. So that night I had decided to document about this kesha that it's called BCEL, Believer Celebration Festival.
Okay.
It was happening in Nairobi Cinema. So I decided to document. I don't know why, I don't know how. And then the first time I saw him, alikuwa kwa pulpit and he was talking about the Holy Spirit. And when I saw him, I did not see him. I saw God.
Ooh.
I did not see him. And then I was like, Connie, what manner of man is this? You know? But I didn't think much about it because mi sikukuwa uko. Me, I had gone there for the nourishment.
Yes.
Me, I didn't really. Na kwa sababu kuna part yenye alikuwa amesema the season that I was in, whatever I was learning is what exactly he spoke about. So coincidentally, I was recording.
Okay.
And because I'm documenting on Instagram, the following day, I posted it. And I somehow found his handle somewhere. And then I tagged him. Alikuwa ni buy ice cream hadi wa leo.
Basi ulitagiwa juko ulislide kwa DM ama kuliendaje?
That was one of the events that nishaifanya, Wacha hata mimi niseme on my side.
Ebu sema side yako.
That was one of the event that nilifanya and I really felt God really helped this young boy. Cause, the event was so big.
Yeah.
It was so big. So what happened is, after a mini tag, I really didn't really realize, like, I just took it as a normal tag, because everybody is tagging you, after a very long night, and everybody was so excited about what you guys are doing and how God moved greatly, everybody is just tagging you and just telling you, man of God, you did well. But now, kwa hii kadabaros, kwa hii, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. And I told her, I reposted, then I told her, thank you for taking this. Now, after telling her, thank you for taking this, I don't know what happened to me. Because I found myself, like, I really wanted to talk to this lady more and more. And funny thing, I was traveling to Uganda for a mission.
Okay.
So, it was a very tricky season because I really didn't know whether I'm supposed to talk to her. Yeye ananiona kama pasi kabisa. Mind you, sijaangalia hata profile yake. I don't know how this lady looks like. Ooh. But I'm like, niko so, sijui kama ushisikiana, uko na push flani. You just want to talk to someone.
I totally get
Honestly
it.
Honestly speaking, I've not looked at her profile. I don't know how this lady looks like. Aki, I don't know. But now, this one evening, I'm just chilled after mission. We're in UG. Then I'm like, wacha niangalia profile ya msichana. After niangalia, I'm like, my Lord. Haya.
Mrembo. Toto si toto.
Look at her.
Yeah.
This lady is beautiful. Hot enough to make the devil to retire.
Mbona kuniambia hizo vitu?
Sasa ungeslide kwa DM na
hizo sasa.
You see now you're a man of God.
Na hivyo ndio wanakuona.
Okay. Usiende hapo na kierere uchome tena. In as much as I'm a man of God, there's a desire, that I had for marriage. And I really felt like I'm in the season, but I didn't have the person to settle in that season.
So it was your season for marriage. You felt it?
Completely. Actually, I had started speaking of that season like 7 months before the day we met.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like 7 months. Every friend of mine, actually my colleagues were telling me, bro, unasemanga uko season unachapa mission Monday to Sunday utapata mtu sangapi.
Wow.
So that's what my friends were telling me, but I knew I'm in my season. I'm in my season. So slide pole
after umeangalia photos
sasa after nimeangalia photos nime develop an interest. Now I want to know her as a person. I want to know her interest. Then as I look at what she's posting, I just find like I'm really connecting to her. My spirit actually is just connecting to her.
Oh wow.
And kuna kitu hajasema and I think yeye anafaa aseme hiyo so that mimi nisionekane ni kama mimi nilikuanga na mimi tu nasukumo na roho. Yes. Wasema.
So Pasi, you were in your season of marriage.
I was in my season.
How about you, my dear? How was that for you? Were you also in your season? Ama ulikuwa tu kind of vibes on vibes, you know?
Maybe I was in my season of obedience.
Okay.
So, I believe I was listening to God more.
Okay.
So I was more of like, this life is not even mine. You do whatever you desire.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say akili yangu ilikuwa like I want to be married. Mi hata kama angenioa hata sahi, but I don't think I would be married by the way. So I normally tell him it was purely obedience. He never understands, anashinanga kiniuliza unajua naonanga nikaa nilikuforce, but I don't think you would understand until maybe you have gone through the same in a situation, because that was more of obedience. I couldn't even say no.
So on your end, what was happening? Huni Pasi umetoka kumrecord kwa Kesha. So Pasi ameslide kwa DM. You didn't think, hey man of God, hey.
No, of course I had that ikia. Hey we, nafanya nini na mtumishi?
You reply and you're like, thank you man of God.
Hey, thank you pastor. Or like there's that respect, that fear, that just that mahali umemweka, you know. So if we expect mtu akukatie, mama Pasi bedhe nikawa najuanga kukatia.
Wako na mistari.
Nisi tunaogopa.
So has she shared what she was supposed to share?
No.
What was that?
What exactly?
Kesha, what happened that night?
Oh yeah. So there was an apostle Dennis. Dennis
Wambomo.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. So akaita altar call the Holy Spirit. I have always desired to have the gift of speaking in tongues. So alikuwa amesema anyone that wants to speak in tongues, you can come forward. So I went. I was among actually the first people. So assuming ameanza his side, so mi ndo nilikuwa his side. So he prays, but the other people who are being prayed for, they're falling down. Me, I'm not falling down. So he comes back to me. And then I was still not falling down, but I was just, I think I had a encounter in a way, but not in the way I expected because of what I'm saying. So when I was coming back to the pulpit, to my seat, he stopped me on the way. So you see the way Nairobi Cinema has
the two sides.
Yeah, exactly. So he stopped me in the way. He held me on my shoulder and he told me, "I love you."
Pasi, that night.
Now let me tell you the truth.
Please explain because
that version I've had it from her.
But your protocol agreed.
My protocol agreed that I told her I love her. But if I tell you, the first time I saw her face is on that night. That fateful night when I was in a mission in Uganda, that was the first time I saw her face.
So what happened? Ulimwambiaje I love you? Ama you ulikuwa as the spirit was...
what I don't know is, I really can't tell that was me.
Okay.
I can't say this was me because I've never seen this lady.
Yeah.
To be honest, the first time I saw her is when I went into her DM and you know her profile. That was the first time. That was the first time I interacted with her. So her telling me that, I can't even remember me holding her. You get?
Yeah.
So to some point, nikiangalia history yote, mu feel like, this was something, this was her message. Leave alone the marriage perspective. This was her message from God. And nikiangalia, she was going to receive the Holy Spirit. But now she's not falling as everyone else is falling. But now God is affirming her, I love you. So when I just sit down, I'm always hit by the revelation, that was not, a spoken word for marriage. It was not a spoken word.
God using you as a mouthpiece.
It was God using me as a mouthpiece to deliver something to her daughter.
Oh wow!
Get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But again, I also feel, it really, built something in us being together.
Yeah.
I really feel, anytime I think of this marriage, I honestly feel this was a divine and godly ordained marriage. That is the truth.
Hey. Na ndio hata tujengia kwa mistari na nini. So Faith, here he is anarusha mistari na nini. So mlifika happy because now you are not friends, mlimit kwa Kesha. So do you build that friendship ama Pasi ulingia tu direct kwa niaje mimi nakulike na ningependa tuendelee story?
I think see, in the season that I was in, the first thing that I really, after I've noticed this lady, I've known she's single, you know, and I've tried to create friendship, you know, I really made my intentions known.
Okay.
Nilimwambia niaje, I think if this would be the will of God and it would be your will, because you know I'm not marrying God, I'm marrying you.
True.
If it would be your will, I think I'd love to wife you. I'd love to marry you.
Na huku mwambia God aliniambia wewe ndo wife.
No.
Because many pastors use that line.
I didn't tell her, but I told her, I just have a conviction to talk to you.
Okay.
I feel like I'm pushed, you know, to just be around you. But you know what? If it is your will, you know, you have a free will.
Yeah.
Ini wewe uamue. Ini wewe
kubali ama ukatae.
Ukikataa well and good, you know. And you know, if there is anything that I need to do to convince you to marry me, I'll do it, because it is not God who is marrying you. It is your man who is from God. You know, it is me. So I'm the one to do the work. I'm the one to convince you. I'm not expecting God akiwa binguni aseme, my daughter, kijana receive it. No. You know, it's upon you to make the decision. You know, so I think on our early days, you know, of talking, because let me tell you, when you see the person, you will know it is them. That's why it was easy for Adam to realize this is Eve. This is the bone of my bone and the flesh of my flesh. The minute he saw her,
yet he was asleep.
Yet the first time, now every man listen to this. The first time you'll see a woman that is destined to be your wife, you will know that.
How do you know? Because I've asked many guys that question. How? Because many men who have come here on the show, hiyo ndo kitu ya kwanza wao usema, nilimwona na nikajua. Si ajui ku-explain, but anasema nilijua, kuna kitu nilijua tu.
You see, it is not for you to figure out. It is for the spirit man through the intuition to recognize the vibrations of God speaking to you. Because it is he who finds a wife. Now that word finding, it means our wife has been with God. It is a woman being with God. That's why you are found. You know, so after a woman has stayed with God, after a woman has been with God, then it is only then that you can be found. And now you are not being found as a girl, you are found as a wife. You get? So when a man looks at you, and this man has been journeying with God, this man has an understanding with God, he has a personal relationship with God, what will happen in his intuition? Umse atajua Milo, the bones of my bones, the flesh of my flesh, you are the one. They will know. Sasa technicality comes in. Now you doing the work to convince her that wewe ni wake. You know, without using, God told me, and without using, you know, I feel. now you doing the work. Wewe kufanya kibarua jitu, amaje baby. Jitume.
Unajituma.
Jitume, piga mjengo. Kama ni ice cream danganya kidogo.
Peleka dates. Unafaa ulipe deni, by the way. Wife anasema
ice cream.
So Faith, back to you. I mean, here he is. Amesema intentions. Did you take some time to pray? Was it a moment of me, I need to hear from God as well? What was going on after amesema by the mimi ningependa kukuoa?
I was confused, but not confused that he nifanye. I was confused. Nimejipata aje hapa? Because it's not a place I expected, especially like that year, because that year was like more of a healing year. So I was feeling like kwani it's double blessings at once, you know. So at that time, it's not like I had shut my heart to listen, but I was nilikuwa nakanyaga tu pole pole, because I don't want to find myself in a situation and then I break again, I am broken again. I didn't want to, so I was just treading carefully, but at the same time my heart was open, and yes, I was talking to God more. I was, and that time I think God was silent.
Hakuwa anasema kitu.
Hakuwa anasema kitu, hakuwa hata nikisoma word. But now unapata, because at the time I was in school, I was finishing campus, when I was having my, what is it called, Bible time, Bible study. He used to join me. So anytime I used to have a question, even if it's in the middle of the night, he used to answer me. He was just a call away. You see? So to me, I think I was like, mi bora ha interfere relationship yangu na Mungu, mi niko tu sawa. mi niko tu sawa, it doesn't matter what is. And again, it was easier because I was in my season of obedience. It was not easy, but it was doable for me because my heart was open to that. Nika agree tu. Yes, anasemanga nilimpeleka, which is true. Lazima uringe, hata kama atakuja na mabawa lazima tu utaringa. You don't have a choice. Wezi hiyo itakuwa ngumu. Acha kukatia saa ngapi? Lazima afilio. Manzi
amekupata kweli.
Na hata kikupata bado unamsumbua.
But see, a lot of many young men give up on in church, especially church. Wacha tuonge church juu sisi tumeokoka. Si tuko kwa hizo circles. And you find a guy who's chasing you in church, lakini imefika mali nikai chase pia naye amechoka bana. Hata umeringa sana. Unaenda kuomba miezi 3. Ameshinda hapa akikwambia na kulike nini. So sometimes pia tunapata madema chali church kidogo. Hatuna hiyo patience, acha tu niende nitafute mwingine huko. For you kept on pursuing her because you knew there was something that God had already confirmed.
Let me tell you the truth. Kuna time I felt like giving up, but now it's like God told her that day to affirm me.
Oh.
Because I always tell her, Miss Kwenya nilisema, I think I'm not going to continue wasting my time here. I'm not going to continue wasting my time here. I know probably God has been telling me you're the one, but if also if this is the same God that ananiambia you are the one, I think she should also give you some hints bana. Unaniweka masaa
lakini nawafunza patience. Why you not patient?
Yes, I'm patient. Understand? I'm patient.
Things take time.
But okay. It can take time again. But now, are we talking of Kairos, the time of God?
Okay.
Or are we talking of, the time of man?
Yeah.
So probably, the time of God could be today. Yeah, yani tujuane leo na useme yes, that is the time of God, that is the Kairos time.
Yeah.
And now there is your time. Ulelewa, there is your time. Your time we want to take 3 months to pray. Honestly speaking, this man will go
21 days.
Of fasting and prayer.
I think number one thing, in as much as you're praying, I think it is so important to look at other aspects. Is this man what you want to see in a man?
Okay. Good question.
I think vile unasema not to overstay. I believe people overstay because they're not sure.
Okay.
And then actually I was telling him in the morning, sometimes women we si uchelewa sana because tumedate seme toxic to a point you don't know what is healthy anymore.
And you can't even accept a good guy.
You can't, yani huamini unaweza pata msempoa. So sometimes, na sitetei wanawake, sometimes it's just that, sisi we are vulnerable. So you don't want to be hurt again. You see, so you kind of take your time and then you miss. So I think it's also important to stay in prayer. Do una clock haraka, uko like, okay, by the way, it is
the time
him.
is now. How long did this take? Hii kukatiana, kumuuliza, ukapewa jibu pasi. How long did this take? And which year is this we are talking about?
Hii ni movie ya juzi.
Juzi ni nini?
Hii movie ya juzi. Hii ni series hata unafaa ingia Netflix saizi. Why watch bana? Hii ni movie ya juzi. Bana.
Juzi ni lini?
Juzi how long?
Mbona najifanya?
Ajui date.
Sikumbuki.
Kesho ilikuwa 9th June.
Last year.
So unasema yes ya tumeanza mipango ama yes ya
you have said yes to him.
Sidhani kama nakumbuka, but like maybe 2 months considering you outside the country. So that June and July.
Okay.
So August vitu zilikuwa zisha kickstart.
Hii tunasema last year.
Yeah.
We're talking of last year.
Last
mambo
year.
Ni mingi mazando machache bana.
We.
Kunywa maji songa na gari. Lamba glucose.
If one would look at you guys and hear your story, would think make 10 years. 10 years together.
Yeah.
Because you're so much in sync. Wewe nasema nasikia ni kama nikimsikia nikana kusikia. There's such a flow that I'm in such awe of what God has done with you two. Wow. But we are talking of last year pasi. Yes. Na ulikusha determine nasema mimi am a man of assignment, tuende sana.
Now let me tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Acha tukwambia hata miaka yetu so that tushtue wasikilizaji.
Ebu yake vizuri sasa ndio tuelewe.
Acha hata tustue. Ebu mtu kama anakuanga na hata taka keti vizuri please. Sit down well. Kunywa maji, chukua glucose because we are about to drop it as it is. Now I married at 23 years old.
At 23?
Yeah. I just turned 24 the other day.
Hii mwaka?
Yeah. How old were you when I married you?
Saina turn 23, so it was 21 turning 22.
Faith, you're 23?
22.
You're 22 now?
Yeah, I'm turning 23 December.
In this year?
This December.
Wacheni tuende break kidogo. Let's just try and understand that, because today we are talking about what is the ideal age to get married. Tukisema weni pasi wa Gen Z, inamaanisha hii age hakuna wase tunaona wana marry hiyo time. In fact wasi wana fornicate and then mnajita so and so family. You know, sasa ingekuwa the Rico's family on YouTube. Tunajua mna fornicate lakini mna try kutuonyesha mko married. Lakini hamuko married. You know, then to you guys making that intentional decision.
Yeah.
So for you, pasi, unajua tunafikirianga mjamaa lazima kwa megonga almost kuelekea 30, 28, 30. For you, you were 22 at that time. 23 at that time.
23.
And you had made a sober decision of getting married.
Very sober decision. I'll tell you why.
Please tell me why.
I'll tell you why. Number one, there are things that every man should consider before, having a wife. There are things, there are basic principles. We have marriages and we have kingdom marriages. That is number one thing that every person should be able to define.
Yeah.
All right? Because marriage, as long as you guys are staying together,
Yeah.
you have had sex, you are staying together, you are cohabiting. In the spiritual realms, that is marriage.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? But now we have kingdom marriage. Now kingdom marriage is the marriage that has the blessings of God. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when we are talking about, every man should be able to understand what kind of a marriage, number one, do I want for myself?
Okay.
I'm a kingdom man. So that will go without saying that I want a kingdom marriage.
Yeah.
Number two, every man should have a vision. No. Every man, first of all, should be in the presence of God before they get a wife. Adam was in Eden before Eve was brought. Now, the word Eden means the presence of God. So, in other words, Adam was in the presence of God before Eve came.
Oh, so a man should be there in the presence of
A
God.
man
Before a wife.
should be. You see, the
Yeah.
problem with today, the reason is why we are having a lot of issues, with men dealing with empowered women.
Yeah.
It is because a lot of men, they are not in the presence of God. Because the only solution to deal with an empowered woman is to stay in the presence of God as a man. Because it is in the presence of a man, of God, that a man gets, number one, the priest, to be a priest, and number two, gets to be a king.
Ooh.
Now that's an empowered man.
Yeah.
An empowered man is not finances. An empowered man is a man who understands, number one, he's a priest, and understand that he's a king. You get it?
And this you get it in the
Now,
presence of
this
God.
you can only get in the
Yeah.
presence of God. This you can only get in the presence of God.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
So number one, a man needs to be in the presence of God. He needs to be in Eden. Number two, a man needs to be a man who can nurture.
Okay.
That's why Adam was given an assignment before Eve. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you need to have the ability. You need to have stayed with God to a point that God has stretched your capacity that you can be able to nurture a woman. Because as she's coming to you. Now you'll be the Lord.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you need after staying with God, you need to have the capacity to nurture. Number three, you need to have a vision. All right? You need to have a vision. You need to have something that you are doing. All right? Now, a vision is progressive. Leo nauza makaa.
Yeah.
Kesho nauza wholesale.
Good.
A vision is something that is progressive.
Yeah.
You have an idea of how you're going to sustain your family. You might not be having. You see, a vision is not a job.
Yeah.
I think people need to understand this, and people don't marry because they have money.
True.
I think when we deal with people don't marry because they have money, that's when we break it down that you don't need to get married to marry or at the age of 30. Because if you ask many people, why do you want to marry at the age of 30, they will tell you financial stability.
That's it. Yeah.
But again, there is no day that you'll have enough money to marry.
Because you inakuanga excuse for a lot of guys. Ukiuliza, mbona hujamari mjama? Kwambie manze sina job poa.
Yeah.
That's always the excuse.
Hauna job poa. But again, you don't marry because you have money. You don't marry because you have money. No.
Money comes and goes.
Money comes and goes. Money is seasonal.
Okay.
You marry because you have a vision. You have something that when God alipata baby, when God alipata Moses, alimuliza, what do you have? You see, what you have is what delivers you, is what helps you. So as a man, what do you have before God gives you that woman?
Ooh.
So those are the 3 factors that every man should consider before he even thinks of a woman.
So by this, as you're saying, you were in your season of preparation and you knew it's your season of marriage. These are things God had taken you through.
These are things that God had taken me through. Understand? This is what you need to understand. That you can never find God in a relationship. You can only find God in your singleness.
Repeat that again, please, for the people at the back. Yes.
When it comes to finding out that you are ready or you God has molded you to be a wife, God has molded you to be a husband. You see, there's a difference between a husband and a man. All right?
Okay.
So and not every man is your husband, and not every woman is your wife. The other day I was telling my wife, you know, in this house there can only be one wife and one woman, and there can only be one husband and one man. You know, so when we are talking of a husband, we are talking of the priest. When we are talking of the man, we are talking of the king of the house. Now when we are talking of the woman, we are talking of when we are talking of the
wife.
Of the wife, you're talking of the prophetess of the wife. That's why at the home, basically, mzae akikuwa na idea na mama ikatae, what happens is the idea flops automatically.
That's true.
It is because in each and every woman, she's born to be a prophetess. I don't know whether you're getting what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You getting what I'm saying? And now the woman part is the queen part. Now that comes in reigning together with the king. That's why the woman is not the neck.
She's not lower.
She's not lower from the head.
Yeah.
You get?
Yeah.
Now the man is the head of the family. All right? The man is the head of the family. But now the woman is the vision carrier of the head. You see, that's what unasikianga. Time tulioana na mama yako tulikuwa tunaketi kwa stool.
We hear those stories.
Progressively tukaanza kukalia sofa.
Yeah.
Now if you look at this, now this man is the head, but he's not the one doing these things. Now this man brings money, but who manages the money?
It's the wife.
What does that tell you? It is the wife that carries the man. So it is so important for you to understand. Now that is when it comes to kingdom. So when it comes to kingdom, you understand, wewe na bibi yako, when it comes to kingdom, you are moving together.
Yeah.
She's not behind you, she's beside you.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now that is what makes effective marriages. Na bongea kidogo juu mimi hapa sasa.
Wacha hata tuende break kwanza jo story. No umeenda uko kwa speed ya 120. Umesonga, but let us take a short break and then we're going to be back. I tell you, we are just getting to the introduction. Ndo tumeanzia tu, by the way. And it's going to be an amazing time as we come to the last hour from 5 all the way to 6 p.m. Send in your questions 0727 907 907. Do you now understand why I actually was asking what is the ideal age for you to get married? Because this is a young couple, but you can hear the nuggets of wisdom that are coming out of them. It's just oozing out, and I'm so excited that we can get to have this conversation today. Send in your question. 0727 907 907 is the number, even as we shall meet in the next hour right here on 90.7 to the FM Truth Worth Finding.